Bill argument is the wrong argument. The argument is, and I know a lot of y'all Bama's don't want to hear. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but there is nobody in boxing, whether you want to believe it, like it or not, have a better resume than Devin Haney and his age group. Meaning under the age of 30, it doesn't exist. The only ones you can say that's on that level is going to be who? Bam Rodriguez, probably Daniel Dubois. That's it. That's it. You don't have to like Devin Haney, but you at some point you gotta respect his resume. The resume is a certified, thorough ass resume.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Martin from Oakland.
Martin from Oaktown. Talk to me.
So it's just like the worst possible argument Bill Haney could make. Because right off the top, like you say, context is everything. Did you do it? Yes. When you did it matters, not just the fact that you did something. Yeah. Now, one of the things that nobody ever talks about is the facts. If the WBC wasn't so greedy, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. First off, look how long Charlo kept his WBC belt. Canelo kept his WBC belt. And here we have, Mauricio Suleiman making Lomachenko either defend his belt against Haney or vacate. And at that point, Haney ain't fought not one person you ever heard of. But fought a gang of Mexicans, supposedly even lost, but fought a bunch of nobody. Right? So because of greed, he's like, oh, you remember that bullshit I did at 160, that franchise shit? I'm going to bring it back, double up on my money, get some money from Devin, get some money from Lomachenko. So all of a sudden, Haney's a champion. And then what ends up happening? Lomachenko was in line to fight for, quote unquote, top rank undisputed against Kambosos. Lomachenko turned that shit down. Yeah. So if Loma don't turn that shit down, if Loma decides to not fight Tio for unification, ain't none of this shit happening. So this motherfucker, he's been in the right place at the right time. Only reason he ever became WBC champ, only reason he ever became undisputed. And what did he do the first time he had to defend that belt? Against Shakur? Vacated. He wants to talk about Floyd ain't never been undisputed. You know what's one thing I remember, Coach?
What's that?
I remember the last guy that was undisputed at welterweight before Bud, Zab Super Judah.
Yeah, Zab.
And who did he fight? He fought Baltimore and lost. Then refresh my memory, Coach, because it's kind of rusty. Who whooped Baltimore's ass after that?
Floyd.
I believe his name is Floyd Joy Mayweather.
Yep.
Feel me? Yep. So it ain't his fault that Baltimore dropped one of them belts. It's the shit that happens. It's the business of boxing. A lot of shit got to go right for you to be in a position to fight for undisputed, to fight for a world title, to fight for a champion. When Floyd was 135, let's remember one thing. WBO wasn't considered a major sanctioning belt. So technically there was only 3 belts at the time, and there wasn't a shitload of Reggies. There wasn't a shitload of interns. So how many motherfucking champions was Floyd supposed to be fighting at that time? Plus, refresh my memory again, Coach. Other than Durant, who's always in the discussion for the best lightweight of all time?
You talking about other than Durant?
Yeah, that's the only other motherfucker.
No, they'll say what you say? Yeah, you say other than Durant. You're right. Outside of Durant,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Floyd.
Pernell
was good
not
too.
Not once has anybody ever said Devin was the best light heavyweight at that point. You feel me?
Yeah.
Fuck of all time. Not even at that point. You had all the belts and then nobody recognized you as the best. They still thought Shakur was better. They still thought Tank was better. So what good did it do you to have them belts? That was the least, other than Charlo at 154, that was the least celebrated undisputed in boxing history. Didn't nobody give a fuck.
No, I ain't gonna say that. No, I ain't gonna say that. Devin ain't no fan that was celebrating that. I'm talking about that. They was all over the internet. You're undisputed, this and that. Nah, for real, bro. Hey, Bart, I'm telling you, they was out. They was out, boy. Bill went on the victory tour. He went on everybody. The youngest undisputed, the youngest boss in the game, the best that ever do it at his age. You know how Bill be politicking, so.
Yeah. That man ain't got no shame, man. You know, this motherfucker was nitpicking career trying to find somebody that fit his criteria. Because remember, when he busted out with that bullshit narrative of the best to ever do it at 120 at 26 years of age, he threw Oscar in that mix, forgetting by the time Oscar was 26, Oscar was a 4-division champion. Oscar was already on pay-per-view like 6-7 times. So once he realized that, he shut the fuck up and dropped Oscar off that list.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey Mo, what's good with you, Slim? Oh man, I guess I'm gonna be in the minority again. I don't really have a problem with Bill saying what he's saying. You just gotta add context to a lot of this shit because it's always been like that. Like even when Floyd said it, you still had to add context. It's no different than what Bill is doing. The problem with I think Bill is fighting the wrong battle, and they keep getting forced to fight these battles. And you know the reason why he got to fight the battle of Floyd, and he used to do the Oscar shit is because these motherfuckers ain't fighting the best. You can't get the best motherfuckers to fight. You can't get the two best 135-pounders to fight. The closest thing you had to the two best 135-pounders to fight each other was actually Devin when he fought Lomachenko. Mm-hmm. So the truth of the matter is, Devin fought the best 135-pounder in the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give him credit for that. And Bill's argument is the wrong argument. The argument is, and I know a lot of y'all Bammers don't want to. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but there is nobody in boxing, whether you want to believe it, like it or not, have a better resume than Devin Haney in his age group, meaning under the age of 30, it doesn't exist. The only ones you can say that's on that level is going to be who? Bam Rodriguez, probably Daniel Dubois. That's it. You don't have to like Devin Haney, but you at some point you gotta respect his resume. The resume is a certified, thorough ass resume, and we gotta act like y'all didn't. People was talking shit about Haney when he took that when they said he took that shitty deal to go to Top Rank to become undisputed. Y'all ain't giving credit for that. It was like, oh, that was a dumb business move. Now, was it a dumb business move that he took short money just to make his accomplishment, or was it just wasn't worth it? Which one is it, Mo? We always say it's not about the money. Apparently, it wasn't about the money when he did that. So y'all gotta get that man credit for that shit, Mo. Like, it's out of control. And at the end of the day, Slim, I just think Bill is who Bill is, and he just took it a step too far, trying to compare it to Floyd. But I mean, it's just because these motherfuckers ain't fighting each other. If you had the three motherfuckers at the same time clear the division out like they were supposed to, run their little 3-round robin, which was Shakur, Haney, and Reggie, we wouldn't have these problems. We would see who the consensus is. But at the end of the day, nobody have a better scalp at 135 in the last 10 years than Haney and probably Tio. So now we got to see Tio and Haney. So these fights got to happen because now that these motherfuckers not fighting each other, we got to talk about Floyd. That's the problem. That's the problem.
I think Bill bringing them up though. Bill bringing them up, and Bill.
Bill is bringing them up because he has no other choice. He's not fighting the best at the moment. He's fighting the best he can do. But at the end of the day, all these motherfuckers do know it's Floyd, so they keep throwing it in there. And Bill is going to be like, fuck it. If y'all going to throw him in there, we going to throw him in there. We under the Floyd tutelage anyway. We know Floyd. We've been trying to pattern that shit after Floyd since day one. Before it was the Dream. What was Lil Haney's name? Young Money. Like Money Mayweather, it was Young Money, then they switched it to the Dream. We know what the problem was, but at the end of that's a fact.
No, I'm laughing because when you said Young Money, I was like, damn, I thought about Lil Wayne.
It was Young Money.
It was pattern.
Based off of fucking Floyd, because Floyd was Money, and then they went to Young Money, which was Haney. We knew what the play was, but at the point is, he just needs to abort this whole Floyd shit and just stick to the current motherfuckers. Y'all can get mad. Y'all Bammers don't have to like it, but Haney have the best resume under the age of 30. Shit, we might go even under the age of 32. Get mad if you want. It's the truth. That is just the simple truth. Until these motherfuckers fight each other, till y'all get the best to fight the best, he has the best scalp. And you might can throw T.O. You might can throw T.O. in the mix as having one of, but T.O. resume can't fuck with Haney's resume. But like I said, your three best resumes under that in that age group, under the age of 30, is Daniel Dubois, Haney, and bam, that's it. And then you got Shakur and you got T.O. and then that's about it. But Haney got that shit, Slim. That's just what it is. Motherfuckers can get mad if they want. I'm out, Slim.
Hey, call us today. You call it from
Martin from Oakland, 2 times.
Martin, talk to me.
Yeah, Coach. Man, the more you look at Devin Haney's resume, especially these quote-unquote 7 champions, shit's a joke, Coach. Look at all these dudes he fought. Look how old they were, Coach. Gamboa was damn near 40. He was 39. Linares was 36. He had already lost 5 times. And the one thing, if you follow Linares' career, all his losses, except for the last 2, were by knockout. So he had already been knocked out 5 times when he had Devin Haney doing the stanky leg. Jojo Diaz is a huge bust. He lost 5 of his last 6 fights, Coach. 5 out of 6. That's how trash this fool is. You know what I'm saying? Loma gave it to him, and Loma was 10 years older than Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Now, Ronn Boy Fresh brought up the Regis thing, and he's right. Anybody that heard that Regis fight get announced, thought Regis was going to put him on, except for the people that saw that fight against Daniel Soria. I've seen that fight. He got dropped a couple of times. One knockdown didn't get counted. He got his ass whooped in front of his hometown. It was supposed to be a showcase fight, and all his showcase was that Regis was done. You feel me? That's why Bill Haney picked him. Let's not pretend like, oh my God, because let's keep it a buck, Coach. If Bill really wanted to fight the best guy at 140, he would have picked fucking Gary Antoine Russell or somebody like that. A guy that's a straight hitter in his prime. Not some 34-year-old washed-up dude just because he picked up a vacant title because, the undefeated champ, gave up all his belts. So if you look at that, those 7 champions, only 2 of them had belts. One of them was fucking Killer Cam. And Killer Cam's arguably the most trash fighter to become champion at 135 since God knows when. So how much credit can we really put on this dude's name? He's cool, but let's face facts, Coach. I don't think money was the only reason why he dug Sandor Martin. Because we all seen Sandor Martin put on the clinic on Mikey Garcia. We all seen Sandor Martin put on the clinic on Tio. You feel me? And we all seen him whoop the dude that he fought the other day. You feel me? So let's not act like, oh boy, a scrub and it was all about the money. It was about the money and getting an extra ass whooping coming off that Ryan fight. You feel me? That's good, but you can only give him so much credit, Coach. You can only give him so much credit when, you fought Loma. Hey, Loma put it on him, Coach. I don't care what nobody says he put on the clinic. The point when you fighting a dude that you're 10 years younger than, and you've got way more reach, and you're known as Mr. Jab and Grab, and that dude out jabs you, you got your ass whooped. I'm sorry, Coach. And if you don't want to acknowledge you got your ass whooped, you got embarrassed by a motherfucker that ain't got no business embarrassing you when he's 10 years older and he's short as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I was shout out to Martin. Martin, you from Oakland, right? You from Oaktown. The fact that you from Oakland and you talking bad about the Haney's, you from the town, you know what I mean? You might not, Bill might not allow you to come back to the town for saying that, brother. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, unlike Bill, I never left. I still got property out here, Coach.
All right, salute, man.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.